Okay, so today I'm just going to do a quick tutorial how to draw an eyelet and a shoelace. I'm going to do a basic version and then I'm going to do a slightly stylized eyelet. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure we've got our fill and stroke. We need to make sure that our stroke is 1 and we need to select our ellipse tool to start drawing our eyelet. So if I hold my Shift and Alt key together and click and drag outwards, I'll get a perfect circle with a perfect circumference. The box comes around that circle. I'm going to do Command C for copy, Command F to paste to the front. Now when you paste to the front, you're not going to see the duplicate shape because it's exactly on top of each other like a stack of cards. But if I hold my Alt and my Shift key and go to the corner with my black arrow tool, you see the arrow now changes to the scale arrow. And if I click and drag inwards, you can see it's going to make that inner circle, the circle that I just duplicated, smaller. So I've now got 2 circles. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually draw the lace part of the drawcord, which some people call lace or the cord. I'm going to change my shape tool to the rectangle option and I'm just going to draw a rectangle shape that hangs down from the eyelet. Now it's really important that when you're drawing this shape that you make sure that your rectangle actually fits inside of the eyelet. There's nothing worse than having a drawcord that is too narrow for the eyelet. What I mean by it's too small and it doesn't fill in that shape, it doesn't look quite right. So what you need to do is make sure that the width of the drawcord is actually the same width as the eyelet and not bigger. Okay, let me just go out a bit so you can see. The next bit I need to draw on this is I'm going to draw folded back and bar tacked. There's various other ways people sort of seal them or wax the end, but whatever happens, it does need to have an end on it. So I'm just going to do the drawcord end. I've just used the same shape tool, the rectangle tool, and I've just drawn a rectangle end of the drawcord end. And at the moment it's kind of overhanging. So what I would suggest you do is if you go to your pen tool again, if you select anchor point tool, now the anchor point tool will reverse whatever your line is. So if your line is a straight line, it will make it curved. If your line is a curved line, it will make it straight. So at the moment these 2 lines are straight and I want to make them have a little bit of a curve. So I'm going to get that same tool that you saw me with. I'm going to go to the corner because there is a point there and I'm going to click. Can you see there's a white point there? And as I drag upwards, can you see the curved lines now becoming curved? Now I'm not going to worry about this bit here for the moment. I don't need to worry about it too much. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the other corner and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to click and the idea is to make the curve here on this side. Then I'm going to get my white arrow tool, I'm going to click back on my points and I'm going to just move it slightly and move it slightly inwards here as well. And again, if I feel like I need to make that shape a little bit more exaggerated, I can go back and do the same thing here. So I'm going to make that curve a little bit more exaggerated. But the cord end and the cord stopper should really meet. So they shouldn't really overhang. Okay, so now we've got our cord end, we're going to move up and go back to the eyelet. Now this bit looks a little strange. It looks like the drawcord has been cut off. It doesn't look really correct from a visual point of view. So what we really want to do is make it look like it's actually come out, like it's actually coming through the hole itself. So if we get our white arrow tool, click, and we're going to click just on this line, not here, not there, but in between. So we're going to click here and we're just going to press delete. And now we've got rid of that line, we can go back to our pen tool and we can do a minus. So when I click on that point now, it will reconnect to the original drawcord end. And can you see as I've hovered over to the other side, there's now a circle. So there's nothing on the cursor there, but when I hover over the end or the point, you can see it goes to a circle. That means it's going to be filled and it's going to reconnect to that line. As I click on it, I'm going to drag upwards. And now you can see I'm kind of drawing a curve intentionally because I want it to kind of give an effect that actually the drawcord is coming through that hole. Now it doesn't have to be a perfect curve, but it needs to look like it's coming out there. So as long as there's some sort of improvement, which you can see, it looks a million times better with it being curved. So now we've got one version of our drawcord. One thing that's really important, it's still fragmented. Select everything. You're going to go to Objects, Group, or you could just do Command G for Objects, Group. So now when I go to move this, it moves as a whole chord, an eyelet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one which is slightly a bit more stylized. So I'm going to go again to my Shape tool, select my Ellipse tool, again that's L if you need to do it quickly. I'm going to hold my Alt and my Shift key. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure that I have my stroke as 1. Okay, so Alt and Shift key, drag and click outwards, got one circle. Okay, select my black arrow tool, making sure the Abound in the box goes around the circle. I'm going to do Command C for copy, Command F to bring to the front, and then I'm going to hold my Alt and Shift key again and drag inwards to rescale. It's like the other one. And let's also give this a fill, but this one we're going to do is a metal eyelet. So I'm going to get my black arrow tool, I'm going to select the outer circle, and I'm going to go to my swatches. Now if you haven't got your swatches on your window, if you go to Windows and then go to swatches, your swatches should appear here. So I'm just going to give it a fill, and this is what they call a gradient colour, which means it goes from one colour to another. This one is white to black. So I'm just going to click on there, and you can see it's kind of given the effect that it's metallic. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the drawcord, but instead of doing, let me just put this over here, instead of drawing the drawcord using the Shape tool, I'm going to use the Pencil tool. I'm going to click on the Pencil tool, and I'm going to make my pencil bigger actually. I'm going to take it to about 14. Let's just correct that line down at the bottom. I think we've got too many points. To get the pen tool, go to the minus and just click on the point that we want to delete. Okay, and I'm going to delete that last bit there. Perfect. Now, as I'm looking at my line, I'm still not happy with the thickness of it because, as I said to you before, it's really great that the eyelet and the drawcord actually are the same width. So I'm just going to maybe the right thickness, but I think that's a lot better now. It kind of fits into the shape of the eyelet. So I've taken that up to 20. So what I'm ideally trying to do is, this is a stroke at the moment, and if we wanted to make, we could basically click on the fill, but we'd find that it wouldn't actually ever fill the inside of the drawcord. So basically what we need to do is we need to change our stroke colour, our stroke, we need to change it to a shape of the curve, and then draw it again, make sure that it's a full shape. It will take you slightly longer. So drawing it this way is a really quick way, and it makes sure that the curves on both sides will be the same. And what I mean by that is that you could, as I said, get your pen tool, you could draw your curve line, and you could come back up again and just try and draw the shape again, but it'd be quite difficult to, you can see it's, to get those curves identical is quite difficult. Let me just get rid of that just to show you. So we're going to take this line, expand, and let me do that again. Objects, expand. We're going to make sure the fill and the stroke is still ticked, and we're just going to go OK. Straight away we've got an outline and we've got a fill. So if I was to click on here to get a black outline and a white fill, you can see that these two lines here are parallel. The curve is exactly the same for this drawcord with any colour that we wish without any problems, and we've then got a really nice line for our drawcord. So just to finish it off, we're going to actually give ourselves a chord end. So we're going to get our shape. This is good as well. We could change the chord end if we wanted to be a different colour. So I'm just going to rotate that by clicking on the shape, hovering over the edge. You see that the shape, the rotating arrow, the one with the bend through the centre, comes up. And let's give this a different colour. Let's give this a purple end. Oh no, that's not very nice. Let's go there. Okay, so now we've got our chord end. The last bit we need to do is replicate what we've done here again. So we're going to go straight closer up so you can see a white arrow. Let's make sure we haven't got anything selected. And we're going to click on that line in the centre, press delete, get our pen tool again, wait for our cursor to change. At the moment it's an asterisk. We hover over, we can see it's gone to a minus, so it's ready to connect. I'm going to click over the side here. And again, I'm going to draw my curved line in. Let's just move this point nice and neat. Perfect. So now we've got 2 draw chords. The last bit we need to do to add a bit more fancy, as I said, we need to take this in. So we're going to get our white arrow tool and we're just going to move it in slightly and move this in slightly here. And then we're going to get our pencil tool should I say, get rid of the fill, so we've just got black, and we're going to use our pencil tool just to add a little star line in there. I'm going to make sure this is 0.25, and as I said, as this goes in you can see that there's a little bit of a star line there, just to show that this has been forced into that little end. So obviously you're going to get a bit of pleating there, or gathering should I say. And there you go, you've got 2 draw chords drawn very differently. Last thing to do is get the black arrow tool and do Command G or Objects Group, and now we have 2 different